Cookie. Yeah, what are we doing?
These guys are really intense. You should have your bro shirts on.
What is this?
Hey, welcome back to On the Verge. If you didn't recognize me, I'm Bill from Cedar Lake, and I'm here with my bro friend Dennis. We got the bro shirts going and the bro tanks going on. Just want you to know that through this whole thing, you are wanted, welcome, and loved. And in this episode, we're going to have something amazing for you. Chris from our from our Gary campus, will be eating hot wings in the challenge. We'll be talking about James 2. And then at the end, the challenge is going to be how many Oreos can you get in your mouth. So, sit back and enjoy this episode.
What's up, everyone? I'm here with Chris from the Gary campus, and thanks for joining us on Hot Wings.
Very happy to be here.
We appreciate it. And you came prepared.
Yeah. They said Hot Wings Challenge. I said hard work, easy work, just in case.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad you're prepared. So, as you can see, we have 6 different chicken wings here. They all have a hot sauce on them. This is most mild. That's the spiciest. Okay. But I've heard number 2 is actually where it's at. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you a question. You eat your hot wing while I'm asking, and then you answer. Okay?
Okay.
So go ahead with number 1. Where do you hope to visit? Like, if you can go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
That's a good question. I would actually probably want to go to San Diego. Oh. Somebody named Ron Burgundy said it was a pretty good place.
It's a fact. It's the greatest city in the history of mankind.
So, it's definitely a place I want to go visit in California.
Yeah, I hear it's beautiful. I've not been there either. Next one. Go ahead with wing number 2. Sorry, we're just moving right along here.
Okay.
What's the best piece of advice that you have ever been given, and who gave the advice to you?
Best advice I've ever been given is actually got from Charlie Brown. And it said that if you store up enough tomorrows, you end up with a bunch of empty yesterdays. And what I learned from that was that the more things you put off, the more things that don't get done.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's really good. Who knew Charlie Brown? Just
full of wisdom.
Yeah, all the wisdom.
Not as much hair, but a lot of wisdom.
Yeah. You're right, he doesn't have as much hair. Kind of looking like Andrew. Sorry. All right, I had to. We were messing with Bill the whole time. Okay, wing number 3. If you could invite 3 people, dead or alive, to a dinner party, who would they be and why would you invite them?
Wow, 3 people. Oh, okay, sorry.
Just think about it. That one I hear is the easiest. I have not tried them myself, but
yeah, that one wasn't really that hard.
It's a little break in between all the
3 people. One would definitely be Jesus.
Yep, good answer.
That's definitely one. I also want to invite this cool guy back there.
Dennis.
Yeah, he seems like he could either stand for security or no, but pretty much I'm a guy who likes to invite anybody to dinner, but Jesus would be first. Maybe some other greats from the past. I don't know. Maybe Michael Jackson. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. I want to know how he made Thriller. And
the scariest music video ever.
It really was. My cousins used to torture me with it.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
And one more person, dead or alive, would probably be Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay. The 2 Michaels and Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
I like that. Next question is, what is a dream that you have that you haven't yet achieved?
That one just doesn't taste good. A dream of mine is to be able to open a athletic center that somehow all of the sports could be played. So maybe like football, batting cages, a basketball court, maybe curling. You know, that seems like the only sport right now that people are allowed to play.
Yeah.
You do it in the house with a mop. But like those type of things, I would love to be able to open that. That's a dream of mine. Just because it's something that when I was a kid, I wish I would have had.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool. I would probably have volleyball and thanks. Here you go.
Thank you.
And swimming
Thank you, staff.
in my
Thank
gym.
you, team.
There's random napkins coming at us. We only have 2 more, so you've made it past like the hard part really, because these 2 were really easy for everyone else. So the next question is, what was your favorite subject in school
Okay.
and why?
Our favorite subject in school was actually English. English was because I like to talk. Obviously, I keep forgetting to eat the hot nugget. I like to talk and learning how to be able to. My mom would always tell me not to say certain words improperly, so English was good. And that's pretty much the reason. That was my favorite subject, other than gym.
Do you like writing papers?
Not as much, but it was always good. I actually like to write, period, so it was good
Yeah.
for that purpose.
I liked English too. I can't do math, can't do pretty much anything besides English when it comes to school. And our last question, go ahead and have your last chicken nugget / wing.
Did somebody really cry doing these?
Yeah. Foster was literally just crying his eyes out pretty much the whole time. I thought he was getting emotional over the questions because we kind of had some deep questions.
Yeah, these
so
are deep questions.
I'm like, maybe he was crying over that, but no, I think they were just that hot. Are you rating them like a scale like 1 to 10, probably a 2?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty tough and Gary.
Yeah. You're used to spicy stuff. Poor Foster. All right, last question. What do you think of garden gnomes?
Garden gnomes, I think they can be quite scary if you've seen enough movies.
What movies have garden gnomes in
Well,
them?
actually, there is a movie like Toy Soldiers, Ant-Man, where they just made everything small, giant,
Yep.
They can be scary. I also think that for people with big enough yards, maybe they deem them as necessary. Maybe they're lonely.
So you think they're like practical but terrifying?
Yeah, I wouldn't have one. But
Yeah.
I have a lot of family that does.
Okay, all right, yeah. Well, that's all, and I'm glad that you were not crying like Foster because that was getting a little crazy.
Didn't even use my water.
Not one sip. I mean, Bill needed the milk and the water, and yeah, wow, I'm impressed. All right, well, let's prepare our hearts for our teaching in James 2.
Hey, we are hopping back into the Word here, and we were really excited to start James 2. We finished up James 1, talking about steadfastness in the midst of trials, and we're actually going to be hopping into a little bit of a different topic here, so looking forward to this. If you're following along, we are in James chapter 2. We're going to be in verses 1 through 13, and your header might say something like sin of partiality or partiality. And I wanted to just maybe start and ask you, Foster, could you give maybe just a brief, that's a pretty big word.
Partiality.
For what we got going on here. So what does it mean? What does it mean to show partiality?
Yeah, so to use another big word, it's discrimination. And so basically what James is telling us is just why discrimination is wrong. He wants you to outline it because then he gives us 3 things to why discrimination is wrong. Partiality is one, it's how do you evaluate the worth of a person? And the second thing, it shows you by evaluating the worth of a person, how are you favoring that worth? Because then it shows you like a practical thing you do towards that person. And lastly, discrimination or partiality kills your ability to actually care for another person.
Yeah.
Because once you put it into your worldview framework of what brings value to a person, then you're not able to love people well.
So at the bottom of this, we're trying to love people well.
Absolutely.
And this gets in the way of loving people well. Maybe we can, here we have an example of rich and poor in James. But can we give some examples of what this might look like today? Like, what does it look like to show partiality for us?
Yeah, in the very beginning of chapter 2, it's talking about how it seems like the church is showing a lot of favoritism, a lot of special treatment to people who look nice, are nice, rich, have worldly value maybe.
Got it put together.
Put together. They look good. But they're also the ones that are mistreating the church and suing them and ruining their lives. And yet the church is still like catering to them. And we know this. We always wanted to be part of the popular group, even though the popular group may or may not have been the nicest group of people.
Yeah.
Or we wanted to join, be like in the inside clique of the sports team, even though they were like the meanest guys ever. We still want to be a part. We still want to have this inclusion, regardless of maybe who they are. And so this is kind of what the church is dealing with. They want to be with these people, but they're not nice.
Yeah.
They're suing them.
Yeah, and they're showing partiality, and
Yeah.
like Foster said, it's causing conflict and a lack of love. And if we can hop into verse 8 here, we have this command from James: if you really fulfill the royal law according to Scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You are doing well. And I want to take a moment here to focus on this next verse, because this next verse really impacts each and every one of us in a big way. It says, verse 9, but if you show partiality, so discrimination, you are committing sin and are convicted by the law as transgressors. And verse 10, whoever keeps the whole law but fails at one point has become guilty of it all. What's that mean for us, guys?
Well, when I was a kid, I broke my neighbor's window. Their bedroom window had 6 panes, right? And of course, I was bouncing a golf ball and hitting it, because that's what you do.
Obviously.
And the ball went flying into their window and broke one of the bottom panes. I thought the window was still in good condition, right? Most of the rain didn't come in, but in reality, the whole window needed to be replaced. The whole window was broken. The same thing with our sin. Once one part of us has sin, tainted with sin, the whole thing is ruined. And so that's kind of what it's saying. If you only have a small sin, you think, you are ruined. You need the gospel. You need grace. You need forgiveness.
Yeah.
You need to be made whole through Him.
And nobody's got it put together.
One has
Nobody
it put together
has
except Christ.
fulfilled the whole law, right, Foster?
Yeah, besides Jesus Christ.
That,
But we look at James, he's very practical in his thinking.
Yeah.
And one thing that he tells us here, it's in order to love someone else well, you have to have a proper evaluation of yourself. And so, for example, here it's, let's say you and I, Scott, say we can swim 10 miles.
I can't.
I can't either.
Okay.
Well, let's say I swim 1 mile, I drown, and you swim 9 miles, you drown. It's like, you got further than me, but you still drowned. We didn't make it. And so here, he wants you to understand, it's just like, it doesn't matter if you're a 9-mile swimmer or a 1-mile swimmer.
Yeah.
Regardless, we all drown in.
Yeah.
And so here, once you have that perspective of knowing your own sin well, you're able not to go on witch hunts of someone else's sins.
Yeah.
And you don't evaluate and put different sins in categories for other people. So let's say you have that one person who they only lied to you, like the popular kids. But then you have your one friend who, let's just say, they might just look funny. I don't know. They just look funny.
Yeah.
You know, Bill
Like
from Cedar
Dennis.
Lake, he just looks funny.
Like Dennis, right?
Absolutely.
His beard is weird looking, but yeah.
Absolutely. So you don't put it into departments on how you evaluate sin or put worth on a person.
Yeah.
And you don't compare other people's sin. You say, no, I have a proper view of myself so that I can serve and love other people well.
Yeah.
That's what James really wants us to see.
We need to see ourselves in the correct light, right? So that we can go to the cross of Christ with our sin. Guys, I want to finish up real quickly, verse 13. I think this is a real practical statement for us, especially in homes, with our siblings, with our families. It says, for judgment is without mercy to one who has shown no mercy. And this is the key. Mercy triumphs over judgment. Andrew, what does that look like in our homes to have mercy triumph over judgment right now?
Well, first of all, this is a sign of salvation. If we're a people, if we're men and women of mercy who are showing mercy, extending mercy, teaching mercy, it's a sign of our salvation, which we'll get into later in the book. But we do need to be people that show mercy and grace. People are going to sin against us. People are going to mistreat us. The church is being sinned against, and they need to show mercy.
Yeah.
And so it's a characteristic that we learn from our Father, that we learn from our Savior, and something that we need to practice and grow in over time.
Yeah.
Mercy triumphs over judgment. And so I just think it's a beautiful transition for James, especially when we get into chapter 3 where that goes.
Yeah.
And
we encourage you at home to have mercy triumph over judgment in these hard times, in these times where siblings can be difficult. Mercy triumphing over judgment because of what Jesus Christ did on the cross. Well, we're so glad that we could hop into the Word, but we are headed off to our challenge for today.
It's going to be delicious. I'm excited.
Hey, I got my bro shirt on with my bro shirt friend over here, and I'm hosting the challenge today. The challenge is this. They each have 3 Oreos in there with different flavors. What they are going to do is they are going to take the first Oreo. They're going to eat it. First one to ring the bell and get the right answer wins that round. Now, I'm just saying Andrew and Foster, Scott has won the first 3 challenges. So it's
2 or 3?
I don't know.
2. It's been
No,
3.
he got the
We've only done 3.
cups off the table.
Did the cups one?
Yes.
Man, I'm killing this.
He is killing it.
me.
I totally forgot.
So right now, the 3 of us got a big old L on our forehead because he's the winner.
Right,
So
was it a curse?
step up to the plate. I'm challenging you, Foster.
So wait,
okay.
Don't lose.
So
Through
we're
punishment.
Doing this one.
we're biting Oreo, and
Yeah.
we are.
The first one
Figuring
who
out
thinks they
flavor.
know, they know the flavor, they got to ring the bell.
Foster's
And
got a
if you get
short
the flavor
reach.
right,
Wait,
then you
can
win
we
that
have our
round.
hand on the table?
Oh, hand on the table.
No. Hand on the edge of the table.
All right, give us a.
On the edge of the table. Hey.
On your
listen.
mark,
I'm
get
on
set,
it.
go.
Oh my.
Lemon?
Lemon, let's
Winner
go!
number 1.
Hey.
I don't like lemon.
That was a nice shot, Foster, but you're still
That was
winning.
interesting.
I'm still a loser.
I've
right,
never
left
had a
or right?
lemon Oreo,
That's
Left or right? Let's
terrible.
go right.
Let's go right.
right?
Yeah.
Nope. Yep.
On your mark.
Wait,
Get,
what up? Yeah. Okay.
I'm looking at it. I don't.
on your mark, get set, go.
That was interesting. Oh wow.
Red Velvet.
No,
No.
not red velvet.
I don't.
I'm gonna go just straight in for the.
Wait. Cookie dough.
No. No. Caramel?
Hey,
Caramel,
Andrew. Yes.
Really?
Caramel? Wow.
So it's
What a
1
palate,
Is it
Andrew.
peanut
to
butter or
1
caramel?
to
Hey!
0.
I have a chance.
Hey.
You have a chance. Well, Foster, you have a chance to tie. And the only tiebreaker is I don't know what it is.
All right.
Okay, third
Billy,
one.
you're just.
That was
I'm
a
not
hard one.
encouraged right
That was a
now.
hard one.
On your mark, get set, go.
Why eat the cookie?
Yeah, what are we doing?
These guys are really intense. You should have your bro shirts on.
What is this?
Is it red velvet? Because I know it's a flavor.
Nope.
I ate the whole thing. I have nothing else to sample.
Is it I'm tasting like a marshmallow.
Is it
Hey,
marshmallow?
he got it.
I did
What
it.
is marshmallow?
I legitimately forgot all those. All of them.
Marshmallow.
Yeah. So we have a 3-way tie.
Oh, bummer.
That's kind of like playing soccer.
So we all get a third of a win.
A third of a win. So
Except you
it's
don't
now
need it. So Foster and I will
Scott.
split. We get half.
Yeah.
A third,
CP.
All right. If you guys have food at home, make sure you try some sort of challenge. I'm sure your parents would love to play with you.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Hey, thanks for being with us on The Verge. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
We're out of here.